Hello, we're Legends on Paper, an eclectic group of longtime gamers with a passion for Dungeons & Dragons. We're not voice actors, professional gamers, or paid performers. We're regular people, just like you, except that we'll probably make complete fools of ourselves along the way as we attempt to have fun and entertain. If you enjoyed tonight's production, please follow us on Twitter and subscribe to our channels on Twitch and YouTube. And most importantly, don't forget to tell all your friends. Thank you for joining us on this epic journey as Legends on Paper presents the greatest adventure.
Captain's log. These fucking passengers took their sweet time to get on board. Some elderly cunt, 2 barbarians, and a right sexy centaur. I can't say I was happy to be saddled with them on this passage to ease, but they proved to be adequate rule followers, and even good diversion from the monotonous torture of Francisco's endless fornicating with his lovely wife. The 2 barbarians beat the shite out of each other for laughs one evening and produced a good entertainment and wagering for my crew. Would that the rest of the trip had been as tolerable, but a strange cloud rolled in, one that brought no rough seas, but instead ripped open, setting forth an airship, Atlanteans, being chased by great flying demons. One plucked an Atlantean from his ship, but the load was too great, and the Atlantean plummeted into the sea. 2 attempted to retrieve him, but saw us and set upon the ship. My strange passengers were more than helpful in the ensuing battle, and one demon was vanquished and the other fled. Sadly, the crew and I lost one of our own. But with the help of my new friends, we were able to stop it from being much worse. We also saved the unconscious Atlantean. The female barbarian turned into a fucking bear and plucked him from the sea. He's unconscious but alive, and now he's my fucking problem because the storm cloud closed, and with it, the demon threat retreated, and the Atlantean airship continued on. So, now, shall we? Fucking hell.
Welcome to Legends on Paper, as we pick up this evening with the party on the Queen of Tartessos, on their way to ease, hopefully, detoured by the Atlantean airship, which we got a great intro from Spencer on this evening, and as the party gathers on the deck with the injured Atlantean within one of the cabins, and one of the horned devils that Howl was managed to keep from going into the water, on deck with them, dead of course. We'll see what plays out next. So, what you guys like to do?
I want to start prepping the body, so I'm going to try and wrench off the damaged wing, the one that I was chopping at the base.
All right. Roll your athletics.
Oh, that's 14.
Well, fortunately for you, this is one that was injured, and it had already been significantly damaged, so you're able to take some effort, but you're able to rip it off. The black ichor just kind of flowing out the end of it. On the deck.
Aye.
I'm sorry about this, miss, and I'm gonna hold the end of the wing over the edge of the ship.
Oh, I'd like some of that, please.
There's another one on that wing right there.
Now, there are a few things that you can harvest on this creature if you want to. Now, harvesting requires that you have harvesting tools, which are very specific tools designed for harvesting and collecting, and as important, if not more importantly, preserving what you harvest, depending on what it is. It has to remain somewhat reasonably fresh for a period of time before you get it to a place where you can sell it. So in this creature, there are things like the horns themselves, these goat-like horns that extend off the head of the devil. There's 2 of them, and it's blood, that black ichor, that can be used to create things by apothecaries and enchanters, arcanists, that sort of thing. There's the tail itself, which has that vicious spike on the end, and then there are the 2 wings. So you ripped one off, which is fine, but just like if you were field dressing a deer, you would have to clean it in such a way and know what you're doing to preserve the leather so that it's not just a cracked mess of nothing worth anything, rotten and smelling, and by the time you got it to where you wanted to have it created into whatever. What was your intention for the wing?
I want to put since it seems like every time we hit it with something non-magical, it seems to resist it. I was trying to think of some kind of clothing or a cloak to make out of it, something protective for some of the squishier folks in our body.
Okay. Now, you can tell that the wing itself is very strong. Doesn't rip easy. Despite the damage that you did to that particular wing, it's fairly large, so you have a good idea just passively that you would probably be able to make either tunic and breeches or a full cloak out of just one wing itself. But to properly harvest it, not having the specific tools, I guess in this particular case, because it's a wing, and Hal would have, because of his background, should have some proficiency in dealing with, dressing out animals. I'll have you roll a survival.
Bible.
All right. While he's doing that, Hildy's gonna get a bottle and lean over
Of the blood?
collect the dripping blood.
Okay, so you'll have to also roll an Arcana.
To put it in a bottle?
Yeah, for collecting the blood.
All right.
Oh, and dude,
It's not about just collecting it, it's about how you collect it and how you preserve it.
I didn't do too well. I got 13.
13, okay. So the first wing, as you're trying to clean it, you're not familiar with it. It's not, you're not like scraping off, the inside of the leather like you would with a deer. And you kind of fuck it up. You kind of rip it in places, and it just doesn't. You ruin a lot of it as you're doing so. You still may be enough material to do something smaller, but not what you initially wanted to do. So, but you have another wing if you want to try it.
Yes.
Maybe a
Dirty
nice
20.
coin first.
D20. Okay, so you managed to collect 5 vials of up to 5 vials if you want that many of the.
Sure.
So, did you want to take a shot at the other one?
Good night. Anybody else got any skill on this ship, just any weird thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an opportunist. I like selling things. Do I have anything on the ship that I can help take some things apart that I might be able to sell later?
I've been reading
After these guys have gone.
guide. I might be able to help.
Okay.
Oh.
Now again, there are the horns, there's the blood, which he just collected, there's the tail itself, and then there's the wings, one of which has been damaged.
I'll try and help him get a wing.
Okay, go right ahead.
Survival again?
No, this is Arcana for you.
Oh, good.
It's normally Arcana.
17.
Okay, good enough. So you're able to, with the tools that you have, process it in the proper way, showing how that it's not just like, dressing out a deer, and that other precautions had to be made, and just the skill set of doing it properly to preserve this wing.
It's on my hand now, but this is for you.
This is the greatest thing you've ever done.
It's very sticky. Look, it can make strings.
It's like the window test with dough. No, nobody bakes. Never mind.
On my finger.
Taste evil.
I need time.
Yeah, I bake. I don't cover my hands in dough and stick it together.
Tequila! Tequila!
Yes.
We got some sharp spiny bits over here if you wanna get in on the action.
I'm just sort of watching, I guess, the three of them now tear apart this corpse. I'm gonna go check on the Atlantean.
Are you sure he's got a tail? It looks like it cut somebody something wicked.
I think I'm alright.
Eat it.
Kiwi, you wanna come?
Well, I suppose. I'm not really one for harvesting the dead, if I can avoid it. And I'm certainly not going to eat that. Please don't put that in anything I'll eat.
It probably doesn't taste as bad as a gnome.
I literally just watched you lick your fingers, and I'm not here for that.
All right.
Wait, you licked your...
Well, I was going to.
Don't you?
Howl.
I can't control them. Okay, do this on their own. It's not scripted. I have nothing to do with this.
What are you kidding? You sent us the Google Doc this morning.
Lick your fingers.
So be sure to do
Demon blood.
smell my finger.
I'll give it a little... How does it taste?
It tastes kind of acidic. Not metallic like our blood or humanoid blood generally tastes, but very acidic. It's not so much that it burns, but it feels like it could get there if it were properly handled.
Oh,
Like on a scale of
like the
like
spiciest pepper I've ever had.
I'll wipe it off.
on a scale from like I'm gonna say you feel 11.
And with you, I mean, especially as much as you licked from your fingers, after the initial acidic burning sensation, your tongue kind of goes numb. But it only lasts for a moment.
It feels like a pineapple.
Yeah, it's, I think I have allergies in
All right, well, get there. Done.
You
it. You gotta try it!
You deserve whatever happens to you. I have to go inside.
You know, it's actually pretty good that you guys are bonding in a fun way, as opposed to
By the way, I'm in incredible amounts of pain right now. Anybody able to help me with that?
But you're a barbarian.
Huge
and
cut on the side of his body that he just noticed it's still there.
I got down with the tail.
I'm just opening the door and going
I
inside.
can probably help with that.
Now, the horns are still left and the tail. If you guys wanted to try and harvest that, it's up to you. But as you guys, the two of you approach the door to where the cabins, entry to the cabins, Francisco's standing there. And he's like, Simmentar, you fought very well. I was quite impressed. I thought maybe you would jump into the ocean.
I saw the look you gave me. I know that's a lie.
But you saw the extraordinary action that I performed for you. It was more like a dance.
You performed admirably.
I know.
I'll say that.
I appreciate hearing that.
On to other matters. How's our Atlantean friend?
I don't know. He is recovering. My wife did a little healing mumbo jumbo and so forth, and I believe that he is doing well. He was alive when I left.
Is he able to speak?
I did not speak to him.
Maybe.
Go.
Yes.
Even better yet, let me check and make sure. My wife is very particular about guests in her cabin, so give me a moment and let me see what I can mitigate, for you to come in and speak to the Atlantean if he is awake.
He gives very good foot rubs, Francisco.
I lean over to you. I'm like, how particular could she be if she dragged an Atlantean that fell from the sky into her cabin?
well, he's not conscious and he's not certain to remember anything. I'm concerned that there's something uncomfortably wrong with his beloved.
Whoa.
She has been locked in this cabin and she seems fine, but she's in there, so clearly they're keeping something.
My mind did not go there, but now I'm concerned as well.
As Francisco comes back down the hallway and you see the door that was probably left a little bit open, comes backing through. He's dragging the Atlantean with him. back through the door and onto the open deck of the ship. You see, he's still unconscious, but we can wake him up. He goes to grab a bucket of water.
Okay. Captain,
Yes.
I think you should be here for this.
Like, a bucket of water, does that make them feel better? Like, they swim a lot, they're Atlanteans, so...
Considering he almost drowned, probably not that good.
I will show you my jewel, he says, and then he grabs the bucket of water and takes it over to where the Atlantean and just throws it on his face, the water just splashing over him. The Atlantean sputters for a moment, and then you watch as his eyes, big, large, round, almond eyes, about twice, almost 3 times the size of a human's eyes, begin to open. You see his long ears, his blue complexion, the elongated skull that he has that really notes the Atlanteans for who they are versus the other humanoids in the world. The long, slender figure and wide shoulders. Very lean but muscular, and he's still wearing parts, but not all, of the crystalline armor that he was wearing earlier. The chest piece seems to have been removed. Other parts, the greaves and so forth, the bracers are still on. He's not carrying his weapons. They probably fell into the sea, and his eyes just kind of flutter open, looking up. They slowly begin to close again, and he just shakes his head, opens one eye.
You're not dreaming.
This is real.
Oh, I don't have time for this.
I survived. Where am I?
A ship?
My ship. This is my crew.
He begins to struggle to get up.
Captain's the reason you're alive.
Seems to have some difficulty standing.
Oh, yeah. You did fall, like, 300 feet into
Can I
open
get
water?
some help, please?
Oh, yeah. And Howell walks over, still some black ink around his hand. Helps him up.
And as he stands, he rises about the height of Hildy, so easily
Oh.
a head or more over Howell and the rest of you. Which is probably quite interesting for Hildy, because there's not too many people that she sees eye to eye with,
There
literally.
was one. He was a dick.
And he kind of stretches and looks around. So, tell me, where am I again?
About 2 days from these.
What's up? Storm.
Oh, that ship. Yeah, it just kept sailing over the sky. Lots of demons.
They wouldn't stop. They would have been instructed to return immediately.
They probably thought you were dead.
You did fall very
Please,
far.
the captain.
I'm the
That would
captain.
be-
Captain, my name is Jerkessian of House Guthrie. At your service. You can call me Jer.
Jerry.
Jer, good to have you aboard. You
Bear bear.
you owe a lot to my new friends here, especially the one who becomes a bear.
Yeah. Heard of such things in Sylvan? He's looking around to whom you're referring to.
Not that one.
No, the redhead.
I dabble a bit. I have some talent as a druid.
You are a druid, I can tell.
Also an established talent for pulling people out of water as a bear.
You have my back.
Wait, I did rescue you from the ocean. Yeah, I forgot about that. It's been, I mean, it feels like it's only been, it looks like it's been a week, but a day, but it feels like it's been like 3 weeks since this happened.
It can feel like that with the time that goes by. And he thanks you. And then just kind of looks around, still a bit jarred at the small ship that he's on now, and the cluster of people. You have the rest of your crew that's probably looking on, still trying to do whatever duties that you have them doing, which I think the last thing you wanted them to do was to get the ship underway.
Yep.
At that point, it was kind of an urgent situation that you're moving, so things have slowed down a little bit now that the threat seems to have passed. But they are your crew is beginning to get sails up and continue with the voyage south. He seems just still a little bit confused and uncertain, and after he nods to Kiva, I am a an Imperial Guard for the Emperor Lutanium. And I thank you. I would thank you if I might be taken to your next port of call where I can find refuge in the tower, and which will find my way back to Atlantis, if you don't mind. I'll pay for my passage. It's certainly no trouble.
Before that, I wouldn't mind knowing what your ship was doing out here and why it was being attacked by demons.
What the fuck they are? This seems crazy.
They did take one out. It's right here.
Yeah, I call it.
What's left of it?
He looks at the mangled corpse.
We named it Daniel.
You
That was
don't
the
see
chicken from hell.
No, this is David.
this one did. Okay. You don't see fear in his eyes as he looks down at it. You see disgust, and you see his hand kind of just almost just go to his where his sword would be if it were in a scabbard, but it's not. And he kind of looks down, disappointed, clenching his fists, like, where's my sword? You see the anger kind of redden his blue tone, and whoever killed that, I congratulate you.
It was a group effort.
But I'd say a lot of it was how, mainly because he was the one who just kept getting hit, and then that
I
one
did
time.
kind of just give it a bear hug and just hold it there.
You are
Not an actual bear, this one, but
No,
He's closer than you might think.
I kind of hate bears.
Hi.
No offense. A little offense.
I've seen focus you. You're from the north, yes? Northern part of Eru, perhaps, or Lioness?
Right in there now. It's not. It's a little north of Lake Loch Rowley. I can't speak today. Loud Greeley.
Sorry, I thought I was Irish for a second. Rowley.
Blood on the tongue thing.
Yeah, my tongue's still a little numb.
I understand. I understand completely. We've all been through quite a lot, certainly. We were on a urgent rescue mission to retrieve King Praetor Eldroth and Queen Penelope.
Oh, that's an unfortunate coincidence.
As you may or may not know, the King of Lioness and his queen initially have been taken by... Well, perhaps I should start at the beginning.
Very good places.
Let's do the highlights we've been involved in.
We did go to hell that one time.
Yeah, we may have found a plane of gate of some kind.
It looks like that's where you were too.
That's exactly where we just came from. See, our struggle began immediately when we entered the portal. And even with protection from the heat, our ship was beset by all manner of creatures. And almost every moment. Even still, our determined advance continued all the way to the gates of blood. That's when everything began to fall apart. I was part of the assault team that went in. We didn't even make it halfway up the path. The path of sorrows. Before we were swarmed by flies. Then we heard the sound of battle behind us, and there we saw the devil twins Dimerag and Dorak. I don't know if you're familiar with these awful creatures, trying to rip our ship apart. Swarms of winged demons approaching from every direction. Even with all that, we would have continued. But at the top of the path, the creature appeared of smoke and ash that covered everything. It was huge. Taller than the tallest tower in Ease, if you can imagine. With red skin, black claws, hooves, feet, and goat-like horns upon its head. But it was those eyes. They burrowed deeply into one's soul. In moments, half our number was screaming, tearing out their own eyes, and running in terror in every direction. They were lost to us already. There was no point in going on. The Dark Lord himself, Bowsable, ruler of high places, Lord of flies, the hunger barred our way forward. By the time we made it back to our ship, less than a third of us yet lived. The others were already rising as the demon lord servants. We were lucky to escape back to Plethwaydle. I suppose that's where I found you. You must have been passing beneath when I was plunged into the water. Did you happen to recover my sword?
I couldn't see it. Frankly, I could barely see your armor when you were in the water.
I'm grateful for retrieving my body as I stand here today, alive. But I do owe you a great debt that I will not forget. Remember my name. Be sure ever in Atlantis. You need help with anything. Jer will always be at your service.
So you were all just coming from hell. You were just there recently, like moments ago.
Yes, if you followed along with everything that I just said.
But how did you
It's more precocious.
Should have let you drown.
how did you
I didn't like it.
hop between the planes? Did you intentionally jump between the planes?
Yes, of course. We were
Yes.
looking for the king and queen of Lioness. We went there intentionally to find them.
Did they? No, I mean just now.
Yeah.
Conflict.
Yes, we had no choice but to try and escape. We almost didn't make it.
The only reason I ask, it seems like they may have jumped back. It
Oh,
disappeared in a similar way to it.
They jumped someone new.
The portals tend to collapse. They're not very stable once they are no longer controlled sufficiently. And our wizards, as great as they may be, were a little bit more involved with defending the ship and keeping the portal open once they got us through. I would imagine, well, hopefully all the demons rushed back through as well. If he escaped, they'll have to be dealt with later.
Oh, no.
Funny thing that.
One went that way.
A couple
And
went.
one went that way.
I think about a dozen or so may have stayed in this plane.
I mean, they tried to jump through the portal, but some of them were just too far away.
And unfortunately, this is the only one we've killed.
Keep it as a trophy if you like. You won't find another, well, other than the ones that escaped.
And
But let's hope to not find another.
let's hope they kind of die off when they're not in a native plane for a long time. I'm just going to operate on the
No, they will cause havoc and death.
What academic knowledge you have,
They
Hal?
will feed. They will feed. But I will let the Enclave know, and they will dispatch our wizards and sorcerers and warlocks and so forth to track them down.
Bravik, can I do a check or something to see if, like, remember that giant flesh golem that we
I
saw
was
on
gonna
the
bring that
ground? Like, can I do a memory check to see if that's about the right size as the lord that was just risen and decided to just start wrecking shop?
Well, you didn't see it.
She did. She was the only one that saw them bringing the big lumps together.
No. But you didn't. Are you referring
thing that
to
you
What he described,
Okay, so
like,
based
if
on the
that matches
description,
the memory that I have of
Can you
this.
reckon?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, history.
Cool.
It's a fairly easy DC.
Okay,
In the box.
that's what I was trying to do. No. Is that a 5?
Describe fairly easy being.
DC3. Oh.
Do I have anything in history? I don't. That's a 5.
I would be surprised if you did.
Why you take your notes?
Yeah.
I do.
Maybe not.
I mean, I do take notes. The problem is that
She's trying to connect the two together.
Yeah.
Hildy would remember, but she doesn't care.
Yeah.
You would remember based on her description of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, you repeated everything.
So I mean, it's yeah. You're not really sure. But
Two of them.
yeah, it certainly sounds like whatever they ran into was significant. And you can ask him what you like. I mean, if you want.
Are you doing this on behest of the Kingdom of Lioness, or is there a personal interest that Atlantis takes beyond that?
I would say yes to both. Emperor Lotanian is, or shall I say was, a very close friend of the king of Lioness, of course, as well as many other leaders throughout the world. But even despite that, had he been his worst enemy, he would have done the same. Maybe not so much to try and save the king in that case, but just to understand the threat that Pletween is facing. And sadly, we have quite a lot to report.
It does seem to be fairly apocalyptic.
I will say, and I'll show him the Ring of Protection, we are operating under the direction of the Kingdom of Lioness. We have, yes, Duke Elderoth has, and Prince Arthur Penjaga have endowed us with some of their with their trust and I guess office. Right. I was curious. Have you been in close? Has your people been in close combat? I can't speak today. Contact with the regent of Atlantis, Duke Eldor.
I'm sure that Ibra has been, either himself or through his agents or the tower in Lion's Gate. No doubt that although being an Imperial Guard, I am not necessarily involved in these sort of conversations. I often witness them on, the occasion, and I would say that there's no doubt that they are in some level of contact, probably very close contact. As a matter of fact, I would bet every inch of my blue skin that already Dr. Panjago is aware of the Star of Atlan already leaving the plane, infernal planes, and what has happened.
Understood. Are there any whisperings of what's going on that you'd be willing to share with us?
I'd be willing to share anything, as you all seem to be trusted questers. You have the rings. He kind of looks over at all of you that are wearing them and showing them. And the fact that you saved my life means that you're noble. At least I would like to believe that.
We're very noble. Mostly me.
For the most part.
Nods politely.
I don't really like being noble. It's too much power in office. It's a lot of sitting, a lot of eating.
You're very
I'm
simple.
kind of just a guy from the forest.
I think he was talking
That
about.
is so much nicer.
I think he was talking about noble morality, not noble station.
Oh!
You are quite the interesting group.
They are
I pitched the bridge of my nose.
Wouldn't it look more like this though?
Because I got it.
Wait
Quite a
till you
long
see them
face,
beat
man.
the crap out of each other.
Only on Tuesday.
I think Hildy and I are up next for that.
So yes, there's
I would pay
been
to see.
chaos in the world. There's been many things going on that required our attention and the attention of the leaders of every kingdom for a few months now. We thought that much of it was past 5 years ago, but sadly it's not.
Is that when Merlin brought all the demons into this world? That bastard.
No. No, as I understand it, he and his brother have been doing everything they can to get rid of them.
Oh, that's a dirty lie. He killed my sister. I'm gonna kill him one day.
Was she a demon?
My sister?
Yes.
No.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. It must have been accidental, perhaps.
Or he's just trying to pull the wool over everyone's eyes because he's a demon lover.
I would be surprised.
That's the point.
I guess you might be right in that regard.
I usually am.
In any
I'm gonna go
case,
play with the monkey now.
I forgot about the monkey.
well, Captain, I will stay out of your way. And should any of you have questions or if you need my assistance with anything, if I could just get a little bit of rest and recover myself, my strength, I would be happy to assist in any way that I can. All right, I'm getting it aboard. You said 2 days to ease, yes?
Yes.
But you can count on my sword as defense of this vessel.
You lost your sword.
Well, if I could borrow one.
We'll get you a sword and I'll have one of my girls find somewhere for you to rest.
And you see Francisco walk up. You may have my sword. I wanted them. You missed the whole dazzling display that I put on the rest of them earlier as you were sleeping. But in case you need a sword, you may borrow mine. It's very, very nice, very well made, masterwork. Oh, he grabs you, you see the crackling of the electrical currents going up and down it. Quite nice indeed. Puts it in his sheath.
Yes, Francisco's very fond of his sword.
Yes.
Is it a golden sword with like a draconic inlay?
You've ever heard of a penis sheath?
Never mind.
I would like to offer you many thoughts and examples about the penis sheath and how that works. for you, and he starts to go into this great detail about the different types of material.
Out of character, Ravik gives us crap when things get sexual, but it always starts this way. It's always him.
Listen, he brought a bard to the ships.
Hildy's is now interested.
No, he brought a talent. He brought a bard with power to back him up. That's so he can't. So Ravik can't kill him in one hit.
Francisco is Ravik's avatar in the world.
Wait, but he hates bards. Is this some concerning thing we have to talk about off camera?
Yeah, this is therapy now.
Therapy.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Francisco, why didn't you give me a sword?
Well, now I only have one, and I must defend the ship, so I can see that you are a very powerful warrior. You are certainly worthy of this beautiful woman here, looking over Kiva. And because of that, I will make sure that I steer away from her. I won't take her away from you, I promise.
I appreciate that.
He gives Steve a sly wink, as he
She is not even looking at him right now.
I do not know how to handle this situation appropriately.
Once, didn't you say you were married?
his howl begins to shrink.
Hey, I misspoke. Foot in mouth.
So the rest of the ship begins to go about its normal afternoon, getting underway. The weather is fairly good. Although you see those squalls that Kiva predicted earlier, off in the distance, you see that you'll probably come across a few of them, during the day or during the evening. But nothing like, what you expected earlier with the great dark cloud that, you discovered to be a portal. The Atlantean is happy to chat with you about anything. He seems very cordial, very polite. For those of you, I don't think any of you have actually ever met an Atlantean at this point, except for him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You notice the personality is innocently arrogant, but not in an intentionally derogatory way toward anybody else. But it just seems like a natural arrogance that he has. Maybe that's indicative of all Atlanteans. Maybe just him, because of his particular station and his presumed expertise. I mean, he survived being carried off by a horned devil, so... but he wouldn't have, had you not plucked him out of the water. So, in any case, as the Queen of Tartessos continues its tack further south, you have a couple of days prior to arriving in Ease. Is there anything you'd like to do during this period?
I want to talk to the Atlantean a little bit more. I just have one more question for him over the next few days. So
You'll note that as he's resting, by the time after a few hours of rest, he goes to retrieve the rest of his armor, the Auranium armor, and as you're speaking to him, you kind of get a close-up look at what this is. And for all the world, it looks like hard crystal, but it flexes. Mm-hmm. And it kind of shimmers as it flexes on all the parts of his body that it covers. He seems quite comfortable in it. And the way he lifts it and moves it, it appears to almost have no weight at all. But be that as it may.
I'm just imagining, bubble armor almost, cut a certain way.
It's very well styled. Mm-hmm. And you can see that it's, I guess the closest would be kind of that ancient Greek bronze styled armor that has some design and filigree
with the layers.
Yeah, except most of it is, and it has some sharp angles, not bubbly at all. But it has a lot of filigree and a lot of symbols that you don't recognize. Hildy, of course, you'd recognize them as Atlantean writing symbols. So whether it's magical or not,
Yeah. Jakessian. That's his name, right?
He doesn't correct you as much as just says Jer. Call me Jer.
Jer. Or Jaressian.
Jurassic Park.
So, whoever's in charge, your commander, they had the one plan to take your warship into hell. Did they ever discuss a backup plan, a contingency? If that were to fail, which it has, what are your people's next move?
I'm not so sure about that. I was tasked with being a part of. I didn't lead this group. Star of Atlantis of Atlan is one of the premier ships of the air fleet of Atlantis, and as an Imperial ship, fully garrisoned and outfitted for this type of urgent event. Our contingency was simply to escape, which we did.
I wasn't talking.
An Atlantean.
Oh, I think this is the first time I've seen one in person.
All right.
Is this your grandmother?
Oh, in a roundabout way, kind of.
She might as well be.
She's just, we're taking care of her.
Like,
Yeah.
But she's under good care, I think.
Yeah, it's a little in her midnight years.
She was in her midnight years 1,000 years ago.
I don't think it's midnight yet.
It's pretty dark.
Like 4 in the afternoon, Hal.
Oh, right. Correct. Sorry, Grandma. Anyway.
He's very odd.
Did you have anything else for the Atlantean you wanted to talk about?
That was my question. I can't think of anything else to ask him if they don't have another backup plan. So, yeah.
Of course, Francisco's out on deck with him a lot, chatting away.
Yeah, I'm definitely timing that when Francisco's not around.
And actually, the Atlantean being there seems to have pulled a lot of his attention away from you.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, he's a man of many tastes.
But he seems far more respectful.
What the
He seems to. They talk about. If you listen, they talk mostly about his background, that's everything you've heard about him already. But he's not as verbose in terms of constantly referring to himself as the most beautiful man in the world type thing, and comparing himself to other beautiful things. That seems to be something that, for whatever reason, seems to involve itself in the conversations that you guys have with him. So,
you see this, Kiva? Do you see this?
I personally.
What makes him worthy of respect and not me?
Oh,
I think that it's
he's
because
Atlantean, dear.
What has he got that I don't have?
Well, they.
too late.
Human legs.
I'm trotting away.
See? Oh, his tail's doing a little fishy thing.
I don't have baby Bambi legs anymore. I have adult Bambi sea legs now. I've got
He
practice.
just wanted to fly with his tail.
Oh, there's flies on this ship? Wow.
Aye.
We did have a
somebody roll
corpse
for
on
some
the
weather
deck for once.
events. A D30.
I do.
I want it.
Well, you go for it.
Or you can.
You do it. I mean, I do cast weather report
3.
every night.
Okay. Okay, give me another one.
Another one. 9. 9.
Okay, so Kiva, you would project, and of course it comes true, that the next day, which would be the day before you arrive in Ease, that it's going to be a very nice, beautiful, clear day, not too much rain. The wind is going to be, coming in not terribly strong from the north. It's still going to be cold, like in the 40s throughout the day and into the 20s at night. But for this far north, it's going to be a pleasant day. And as you guys move further and further south, you're noticing that the degrees are increasing a little bit, just incrementally, as you move further and further south. The second day, you roll a 9. Pretty much about the same, except with a little bit of light rain here and there, but nothing that's going to slow your ship down, which is getting about 5 or 6 knots, per hour on the ocean. So you're making some good time. Mm-hmm. Now, on that day, prior to arriving in Ease, it's the morning, and you're kind of hugging the coastline as you go down, toward Ease, but now you're breaking out into that open area, which is the Bay of Morgens. And as you see on the map, you can see that the Bay of Morgens, on the other side of it, is where the city of Ease rises, but you can't see it yet. It's still too far away. And Josini would point out, in on that morning that you're coming close to what's called the Rock Garden. And she explained that the Rock Garden is where the Morgan live. It's basically an undersea city occupied by the Morgan, and to go through there at night can be rather treacherous. Typically during the day, it's not very dangerous at all because for whatever reason, the Morgan don't like to come up to the surface of the water. But during the night, they like to feed, and often they feed on those foolish enough to sail over or near their city. Fortunately for you, it's morning. You can see in the very, very clear waters the distinct shapes of buildings way in the depths, probably 100 feet. And although it would seem impossible to see that far down into the water from the surface, the clarity is such that you don't see them clearly, but you kind of get their mirage image of the buildings underneath the water, and you see creatures that are flitting through it, fast from one place to another. Maybe schools of fish, maybe something larger, but you're not able to really get a clear look at anything specific. Just so you would know that it's going to take 2 or 3 hours to pass over this area, or you're in the clear water, or the safer waters, just north of Ease, where you would approach the city. So during this time, what are you guys doing?
Keep your arms and legs inside the boat.
Do we want to... Oh, wait a second. I have an idea. Do we want to kick this fellow overboard and give him something to snack on while we pass?
Why would you want to provoke them?
Not necessarily provoke them, but distract perhaps.
I would, if someone kicked a corpse above my house, I'd take that as provocation.
I mean, obviously not at the moment. We're speaking to Kier. I don't know if you think I'm stupid or something. Well, I'm kind of stupid. But I'm aware enough to know I'm stupid. More I can say than you. Anyway.
I just blankly stare at you.
It's a good idea.
Well, I'm saying if we get approached by some of them, we have...
You're Nico caller. Port side! Port side!
Port side? Which side?
The left.
My left or your left?
Your shield hand here.
Oh, wait. Yes.
As you
It goes over to port side.
What?
Goes to the port side.
Oh,
Yeah,
over to the port side.
right as you look over or wander over in that direction, you can see what looks like a head just above the water, about 30, 40 feet out away from the ship. Your ship's moving, and it's just kind of there for a moment. You see a flicker and a splash of water as it goes back down.
Uh-oh.
Was that one of them?
Do I know if that's usual or unusual?
Jacinti would be familiar with these waters because she travels quite frequently in this area. And yes, you would know that that's very typical, that they would come up and, to see.
Yeah, it's a peeper. That's what we call a
But
peeper.
that doesn't mean we're in any imminent danger, right?
Not currently.
Okay.
I mean, they know we're here. And we know they know. So, hey, if they want live bait, we can always throw Francisco over.
Hey, what do you mean? Well, maybe they would adopt me as their king.
I second that idea.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm not going to sing.
Okay.
I mean, I might, but I am.
Hey,
What?
none of that.
All right, then.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
I'm only singing. I don't know why.
Whenever he doesn't say anything, I remember how useful he is and how very good he is with weapons and magic and all
How
of that.
good-looking I am.
And then you start talking, and I realized that it wouldn't be such a bad idea.
Was the head humanoid size? Human size? Or?
Roll a perception, as you only get a very, very brief glance over at it.
It was like this big.
19.
Yeah. Crushing you. 19? Okay. It looked like a little bit larger, but it definitely had that roundish shape with the flare of what was probably some sort of a, like fins or something that, spikes. And then as it, as it disappeared under the water, then with that roll, you would have seen the splash of a tail. It looked like a forked tail.
All right.
Hey, Jay, are you familiar with the Morgan?
Not even in the least.
Okay,
No,
never mind.
Are you familiar with giant towers that have devils and angels blowing trumpets?
I will tell you that Ease has many towers. Have you ever been to Ease?
Probably. I wander.
Well, when you arrive, first thing you'll notice, of course, is how many towers they have. Maybe there's a tower there you love.
Oh no, these are different.
And don't forget the towers of my people that are in almost every city everywhere.
Yes,
But they have the glowing crystals on top.
I remember when you guys landed. That was a pain for everyone.
It's not necessarily fact. Mythology.
Well, I was there.
I'm putting my armor on.
Oh, yeah.
Do you need help with that cinnamon tower?
No,
I will be happy to help you. Like, Richard's over there.
no, I promise you I'm fine.
This is very interesting how you wear this.
I'm half putting it on as I trot inside the deck and close the door behind
Like in
me.
a circle.
Strange that he's offering to get you dressed.
Captain, can we?
Usually always the opposite.
Par for the course at
Feed
this
the
point.
Morgan? No, we should not feed the Morgan. We should make sure we keep a good pace.
You know, the demon
oh,
is starting to
it's like with-
stink pretty badly. After
Oh, it's like
hitting.
with ducks. You're not supposed to feed them or they'll follow you home.
Something like that.
I have some carrots.
If ducks ate you after you fed them.
Sometimes.
That's a horrifying thought.
Depends on the mountain, honestly. I'm just like looking over the side. Like I feel no danger. I'm just gonna look over the side and like just observe this underwater city. Just like watch it go by.
As you, and from time to time, and over the hours it spans, crossing this area, you will see them popping up here and there in different distances, never closer than about 40 feet, and it's very, very brief, as if they, just for the theatrics of it, as you know what to look for at this point, and you're paying attention, you notice that they kind of squint. These big fish eyes, they have lids and they kind of squint as they get up into the sunlight. And then, of course, dash back down underneath the water. But when you're standing there looking over the side, one of the sailors ambles up to you. Madam, I wouldn't enter too close, because it has been known that they have these like whip type things. They lash up out of the water and they can bring you in very quickly. And then you're gone. There's no way we'll be able to retrieve you.
Alright, I'll just go to a slightly higher point on the boat and then to keep doing the same damn thing.
Okay.
I think taking stock of the smell that is pervading the air, I'm going to see if I can get the horns and at least the spiky end of the tail off of it.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll a survival.
Natural 20.
Wow. Since you said horns first,
Yeah.
I mean, that would make sense.
So that would
if it
be
didn't
24
rot.
total.
It
okay.
makes sense because
So you're able to, you do manage to get one of the horns unmounted from its head, and we'll say that Hildy's able to guide you through how to preserve it properly. There is the other horn, and then there's this spiky tail.
I'm gonna go for the spiky tail. Oh, let's go 13.
Okay, that you just mangle the hell out of it.
Oh.
As you try and
Chucks it overboard.
properly remove it. Okay. And
We told you not.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm not spawn.
If we get into combat, it's helpful.
Oh, good. Okay, so
It was absolutely.
that one also you're able to retreat.
2 horns.
So, the loss of a wing and a tail, but otherwise you guys got
Two more.
everything else that can charge set off the creature. Okay.
Do you toss the carcass overboard when you're done? Oh, I'm not going to stop you. I'm not paying attention to anything.
Hildy's going
Holds
to
it over its head.
Don't do that.
I've asked you not to do it.
Just dripping on it all.
Smelling so bad.
Once we get to town, you can discard it.
But, have I noticed? So, have we noticed like a frequency thing with them popping up?
As far as a pattern,
Yeah.
roll
Is he-
perception.
Okay. Cool. No, Grade 14.
14. Not really.
Not really.
Yeah, and it's all around.
Is it getting more frequent? Is the question I meant to ask.
No, it just seems to be very random.
Yeah.
Almost like these creatures are coming up curiously to take a look at what's passing by, and whether or not it'd be worth to try and take the ship, perhaps.
Hey, Francisco, you should,
Kill all them.
Well, I think not right now.
You can try. Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't a challenge. I was just thinking out loud.
So, anything else you guys want to do while you're passing over this very dangerous area?
Hey, Francisco, did you see the architecture under the water? You should look over the side of the boat. Check that out.
I heard about these creatures. I don't think I want to. And I heard the warning that they gave our friend over there, Kiva. I don't think I want to be dragged.
Oh, right. I didn't think about it.
Oh, that looks like a cinematol.
You're very funny. Well, have you ever seen a seahorse? Seahorse.
They have seahorses?
Seahorses, I'm sure.
I see a horse every day.
As do I. You know that's what I sell them straight.
Every time I think I'm starting to like you, you turn it around.
I'm sorry.
He sold me my favorite horse.
Really? Oh.
Where is your horse?
Francisco.
I don't know. I think the undead army probably ate it.
Sad.
Probably sad for the horse.
But not so sad for me, because maybe you will find a horse.
Do you have any horses?
Not at the moment, but that's why we're going to leave.
No.
I will have some horses before you know it. By the way, will you be staying in Nice very long? I, of course, am getting up with my family in Nice because it's where we are picking up more horses.
Why are we going to ease again, Kiva?
Don't ask me. My notes are awful.
Wait, there's something about towers, angels, trumpet. You mentioned it.
That was a tertiary objective.
That's tertiary. I know that we're going to Courth eventually.
Yes, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, are we going to Courth by way of ease?
Yeah, because we have ports that we have
We
to
are going to ease, so.
We are going to ease, but then we're going to Courth.
for ease of travel.
I would suppose that by now, after Justinia's gotten to know you guys pretty well, and you would know that you're going to be making a stop in Ease, and you're going to be making a stop in Freeport, Tortesos, and then you'll be going to Port Frantic. And Port Frantic is the port of Courth.
For Lucian.
And then you can travel up the road to Courth if you like.
Thank you, DM.
I got there eventually.
But I mean, it's fair to say that Justinia would have imparted that information to you, so you know where you're going. So Ease is a stopover. For the ship to resupply and drop off Francisco and his family, our original passengers, and now the Atlantean. So, anything else as you pass over the rock garden? There seems to be a lot of curiosity between the Morgans, looking at you. You guys looking at the Morgans, and some more hungrily than others.
Oh, can you eat them?
Probably.
You can eat anything if you try hard enough.
I wave at the when we're at the very end. I wave hello to one of the Morgans that pops up at the very end, like when we're towards the end of the garden. This might be a bad idea, but I just think they're cool. I've never seen people in the water.
This is fuck you in their language.
I'm going to eat
They don't respond. Again, they're up so quickly and then down. They seem to really abhor the sunlight.
Francisco, you know any songs? I know I said I didn't want you to sing, but you know the one that goes, "Well, in a duty fair, he's lost."
Yes, everyone knows this song.
I don't know that song.
Well, our friend here, Al, he should teach it to you sometime.
He was singing it when we found him. His dog was dead.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
He got eaten by a turtle.
Turtle.
Really big turtle.
Well, it was the baby big turtle, though. It was the smaller one.
Maybe it wasn't a very strong dog.
We've been on very odd adventures.
You
haven't
do
we?
have some good stories.
If only we could tell him well.
Wait till I tell you about the forest. Oh, man.
Oh, that. You know, I don't actually remember that one very well.
Oh, no, not that one.
Oh.
My backstory. This is pre you guys.
So by the next afternoon, as you've made your way across the rock garden and into favorable waters, you see numerous ships going by, passing you, going toward the north. Others that are coming in seemingly from the distant ocean and angling in toward Ease from the west. The coastline begins to resolve into the silhouette of impossibly tall towers that rise from what you know is the fabled city of Ease. As you get closer, you can make out arching walkway bridging the gaps between the towers at various levels. And each one of them seems to sparkle in the afternoon sun above the high crenellated walls that stretch around the entirety of the city, embracing a massive port, reaching far into the ocean where two sets of massive doors are open to the port itself. Inside you see maybe 100 ships of various sizes docked and moored at various docks along the very, very expansive port. The maritime traffic just easily moving in and out. It's so wide that the largest of sailing ships can go, one way or the other at the same time. Sailing closer still, you can see that there's trees, gardens, fountains that are integrated seamlessly with the architecture, lending the impression that the stone structures were designed before the first brick was laid for this city. There have been plants on top of most of the buildings and swaths of ivy that crawl up the towers at impractical angles and seem to define nature. The magnificence of Ease is astounding for those who have never seen it. Not even Lionsgate can compete with her raw beauty. Francisco gazes over the calm waters over the city. His gaze just fixed on it as you get closer and closer. It is said that a city of beauty to rival my own was nearly destroyed 25 years ago. In the Great Storm, I'm sure you remember that, some of you old enough to remember. In fact, many refer to Ease now as the New Ease, because the destruction was so vast that it had to be completely rebuilt. At the time, there was no certainty Ease would be rebuilt at all, but I'm very happy that it has form. I miss its beauty.
It's very pretty.
That it is.
And so as you make your way into the port, we're going to go ahead and take a break and pick up after that, docking, and see what you want to make of your time in this legendary city. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everyone, as we are pulling in to the port of Ease on the Queen of Tartessos, Captain Josini, angling into a dock within the great wide bay encompassed by a huge wall with massive doors to keep the storms out. As you move into the dock, you find it's quite crowded. The docks themselves, expansive as they are, it kind of forms a crescent in front of the buildings that escalate in Ease. It doesn't seem to be built on any sort of elevation, but the towers are just so high and so prevalent. This seems to be a city of towers almost. But there are a lot of buildings in between that form the foundations and the base between, especially on the near the port, the vast port. Hundreds, thousands of people moving up and down at this time of day. You can see lots of ships being offloaded, cargoes of every sort, animals, produce, dyes, or from Tartessos. Your imagination runs wild, the number of flags that you see from the different kingdoms and the goods that they carry. Josini brings a boat into dock. Immediately lines are thrown over and the gangplank goes down. At this point, Francisco, who's been in his cabin, comes out. You can hear the three giggling children running behind him, all rushing forward, ready to go, and he's got to hold them back from running down the gangplank. This is where I leave you, my friends. I wish you all the very best of luck. I'm sad to see you go, or see myself go from you, because I enjoy our conversation so much. Especially you, my scimitar. There's so much for us to talk about. I hope we meet again soon.
Thank you, Francis.
I know I won't be selling you any horses. But your friends may need a horse, or you may know somebody who would like a horse as well.
Given my luck, I'm sure we'll run into each other again.
And Josini, it was nice to see you, and I have expressed so many times in my life. Thank you so much for your help in our original escape from Tartessos, and in bringing us so often down to Ease from Lion's Gate and to other places where we need to go that you are aware of and they are not. So, again, I thank you. And my wife thanks you, believe it or not. He kind of looks away. At that moment, cabin door opens. And a woman glides through. She has long, dark hair that falls over bare olive shoulders. An emerald gown floating behind her. She has many necklaces, rings, bracelets, anklets, laden with gems and jewels of greens and blues that match the sparkle in her big, brown, beautiful eyes. She smiles brightly at everyone, bearing white teeth that are perfectly straight, moving gracefully across the deck. This perfect image of beauty. The children just kind of very quietly, suddenly become very, very quiet and respectful as she comes onto the deck, slowly moving toward the gangplank, escorted by a very nervous Francisco, as he kind of just almost seems meek next to her, although he's much taller. And he's retrieved his sword from the Atlantean, so he has them both at his side now. And as he almost hurriedly tries to escort her off the ship, she pauses. Just long enough to cast a very long, vicious wink toward Josini before disembarking in Tartessos with her family. And Francisco just kind of glances your way as they hurry off into the crowds.
This just got so much more interesting.
I rolled a 3 on my insight check. What happened?
Triangle.
What?
I was more interested in the fact that when she came out, he stopped talking, and all of a sudden I remembered that I like him sometimes.
What? What did you say? No. I'm back.
I got silence.
The Atlantean Jer is just standing there observing all of this. His huge eyes are just catching, just soaking in this entire drama. And you can see the intelligence within. It curves a smile a bit, but he's polite enough that he doesn't say anything.
I look at Jer and I'm like,
It's been a very interesting voyage for you, I guess. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not exactly sorry. Considering I fell out of the sky. But again, I want to thank you all, and Josini, Captain Josini. I appreciate your crew, your friends, saving me and delivering me safely to the port of ease. Here, this is for you. And he has a sack, a pouch that feels heavy when he hands it to you, full of coin. You can hear a jingle then. And again, if there's anything any of you need, I'll be heading to Atlantis very, very soon. But if there's anything you need when you are in Atlantis, I will be there to assist you. You can count on me. All right? I'm in your tent.
Is Jer a very common name in Atlantis?
No, not particularly, but
good.
even more unique is Jer the Imperial Guard. Try that. And you'll be directed to me right away. Perhaps.
All right.
Jer, it was my pleasure.
There's about 200 gold in there. Which is far more than you ever would have actually asked for me. So it's quite nice. So as he disembarks, you can see at this point, it's late afternoon. You can see in the distance one of the towers. Not any taller than any of the others, but very unique in that it has this red glowing crystal that's slowly rotating around it, shining brightly. You see it reflecting off the clouds in the distance. Seems to be the general direction that he takes as he heads off into the crowds and up the various streets. What do you guys want to do?
Captain,
Yeah.
I'd like to rent the cabin now that it's no longer being used.
It's going to take some cleaning up first, I'm afraid, after
Oh,
Francisco's been in there.
That.
Well, how much are you willing to pay for it?
Well, not as much as Jer did.
can we get a discount on our passage since we did protect the ship?
Well, considering you did so well, we can work with the friends and family rate.
We're friends and our family now, guys.
When are we shoving off, Captain?
We'll have to get off. We need to dispose of this carcass finally.
Now you can throw it overboard.
Oh, okay. Wait, are we in the port?
That's just going to be floating in the harbor.
There might be a fine associated with that.
You were willing to do it when it would get us all killed.
It's all right. The captain would have to pay a fine anyway.
That's right. My crew will take care of it. We'll stock up on supplies.
Once in his life.
So Giuseppe was planning on leaving to Freetown the next morning. If there's a reason that you would like to extend it, it's up to you.
I think my girls need one night to blow off some steam, but that's good enough.
So if we want to keep traveling with her, tomorrow morning will be when we shove off.
You're going to go get lost in the city, aren't you?
Well, I think if we're going to find out what these visions of yours mean, this would be the place to do it, no?
No, I don't think so.
It's the city of towers.
It's a different kind of tower.
Very well.
I think if there's a different kind of tower, these people might be experts on it.
It's much bigger than these. These are like these are like Eva barbarian, and my tower is like a Howl barbarian.
Oh, so
It makes perfect sense when you put it like that.
so these
doesn't?
towers get bigger in the night then.
And in the morning.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, I just got that one. They're made of wood, those towers.
You are just the most crass group of
They're rock
people
hard.
I've ever met.
No, while she's saying this, you're looking at these towers thinking, these are the tallest towers you've ever seen in your life. There's probably not a city you've been to that has towers taller than these, and there's a lot of them.
This is about as tall as the mountain that I was near the town I was staying with for a while, and it's like, what if they took a mountain and then they just chopped it into very small pieces, or if they got trees that got really tall? This is so weird.
This is a terrible idea.
He'll do a walk off the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
Gonna head towards the Atlantean Tower.
as you walk off, there's a lot of people stepping aside, looking at you, staring. The glow, prevalent around you, not bright, but as it gets toward the evening, it's a little bit more obvious. But the people that you're closest to passing, there's a bit of whispering, like, as this is a big deal. Someone from
The north.
from your lands shows up. Watching the Atlantean walk off the ship, it would have been a lot like that too, but not quite disturbed among folk as you move through them. Where are you going?
To the Atlantean.
To the Atlantean. Okay, so you're kind of following him from a distance, but you can see the tower. So
Yeah, I'm just heading towards it.
Okay. And what are the rest of you guys going to do?
I've got two things I'm gonna do. One of them is to find someone essentially to drop off a letter to ship off north again. Basically, I'm trying to find a local mail courier office, and then the other thing is I want to find a Templa Luna. I figure there might be one in a city this big, this towerful.
I think Kiva would probably know that Luna in particular, you might find a chapel to Suna. You might find a chapel to Hiru with priests, not so much druids. Luna might be harder as a lesser known. In the big four, Luna's probably the one that is more druidic and priestly, whereas Suna and Hiru have both.
She's a quieter god.
Yes, and would likely be outside the city rather than inside the city. Among the stones, the monoliths, and so forth. The druids, prefer. If there's a druid enclave nearby.
Oh, can I reach it before the ship leaves?
You gotta find out where it is first.
Yeah.
So the rest. The city, you probably know the city pretty well, but probably not much about where the druids are and so forth.
Yeah.
But you probably know where the great taverns are and moneylenders and
I do
place to
have
buy
200 gold if anyone wants a drink.
There you go.
Take me to the nearest place of debauchery. I'm ready.
That I know.
So you guys go to a tavern. You're going to look for.
I figured the first place. I figured go to nearest temple, druid adjacent temple, and then just ask there for directions.
Okay, all right.
Would I,
Finds a flower vendor.
with a 19 on my
Not
history
like it's a
check,
natural one.
would I know of any temple that she's looking for?
Probably so.
Yeah.
The temple of Suna, the priestly order of Suna, would be not too far. It's in more of a temple district, which is toward the center of the city. Where
Wouldn't that
most
be the
of all
exact
the temples are
opposite
gonna be.
of what you're looking for?
Yeah.
So there's various temples there in the temple district that you would be aware of.
I'm not sure about Luna, but I know that there's a temple of Suna in this direction, and usually where there's one, there's the other, not too far away, right?
Well, it kind of depends on the region. There's always priests of Suna, and there's always druids of Suna, but Luna's quiet. She's the moon shadow. She's not really shiny like Suna is. So not a lot of people worship her or follow her or really pay attention.
I've only heard her mentioned in passing before I met you.
Where's Hillary?
Oh, she said that she was heading to the tower, I think. I'll only get worried if I don't see her when time begins, or when we're about to shut off.
Yeah, she knows where to meet us in the morning.
Breaking a contract, huh?
Yeah.
At this point, I'm pretty sure that Hildy can take care of herself.
Good point.
So she insists on separating herself at every opportunity, so at some point she's got to take responsibility.
Do we want to allow Grandma's day out?
And plus, this is a city, and I have no idea what to do with cities, so I figure that she knows way better than I do what we're doing here.
Good luck.
So are you going to try and catch up with Hildy, or are you going to the
Oh, fuck no.
So Hildy's going to the Atlantean Tower. You're going to the Temple District.
Cousin.
And you and Jacini and probably various sailors from your crew going to a tavern?
Ooh, girls' night.
Yeah.
House modes for everyone.
That's right. We have a fallen crew member to drink to.
Oh.
yeah.
Pour one out for
I'm going to spend hours learning all about her lives.
I thought we saved her.
Plus, I have some stories.
No.
Different one.
Oh. Okay.
This is the one that got killed by the stink fire, right?
No, the fire we stopped. That's the one we
Right, but
saved.
she was still like
One of them
bubbling.
burned.
Oh,
I think it was Winifred.
maybe. Clearly, we need to drink to her memory because we don't remember who she was.
That's what I'm doing with all the Foxy Pirate ladies.
We drink to remember, not drink to forget.
But we did forget.
That's why we're drinking to remember.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Amen, sister.
It will be a night you'll never forget.
So we'll start with Hildy as she makes her way to nearly the center of the city, actually passing the Temple District, just kind of skirting by it, probably making no note of anything unless you wanted to, of what's within.
A very obvious Temple of Neve is there, or chapel. When she walks by, just say, "Yay, Neve!"
Okay. She doesn't see one.
All right, then she doesn't do that.
But if you were specifically looking for one for Neve, you would have seen one for Luna, or not Luna, but Suna and Iru and a few others.
She was not.
Okay. So in any case, as you get closer and closer to the tower that you know is inhabited by the Atlanteans, you see this big, beautiful tower with balconies all around, and flowing from these balconies are long, long ivies stream down almost to the bottom, the base of the tower itself. It's not the tallest tower in the city, but it's been situated in an area where it's pyramidal shaped apex of the tower, and then the crystal that's rotating, literally levitated a few feet above the pinnacle of the tower itself, slowly rotates, giving off this radiant energy in a crimson color. You know, as it gets darker, you can see it kind of lighting up the sky. And it doesn't seem to be inhibited by the other towers that are around it in terms of how far it goes off. It goes as far as you can see in the distance over the land. You notice that there's a great entrance. There's like a tall stone, beautiful architecture that has been basically carved with Atlantean elements, you know, things related to the ocean, seas, a lot of Atlantean symbols, tridents and that sort of thing. You see that there's a great effigy of Pontus, you know, holding the trident up in the air. That's kind of the central figure beyond the gate. And sitting at the gate is a small, I won't say shack, but it's just a covered area. And there's a Atlantean sitting there wearing brown robes, a lot smaller actually than Jer. And there are two others, Atlanteans, that look very much like Jer in their crystalline armor, standing just a few paces back. And you can see on the wall itself that there are a couple of armored Atlanteans that are just kind of keeping an eye on things around. And then, of course, you'd have to get through that gate to get to the tower itself, which is a fairly wide base of about 90, 100 feet or so in width, and then there's great doors. And you see various people moving in and out. There's also a stable, there's what looks like a garden shack, other work places that are, you know, within the walls but outside the tower itself. And lots of figures moving around there with gardeners and that sort of thing. As you get close to the entrance, the Atlantean looks up from his journal, and with almost a bored stare, his eyes suddenly, a long day, widen a bit at your approach, realizing that you're 12th a day. How can I help you?
I'm looking for the Magister or an Elder that I can speak to.
And she'll show her ring.
I am Hildegard Demurius, an associate of Jared the Imperial Guard.
Very well, you're welcome to come in. Have you been to an Atlantis Tower before?
I've seen them.
Well, as you enter, you'll find the common area where there is refreshments, drinks, meals are served several times throughout the day. You're welcome to all of that. Of course, for you, there's no cost. You won't be presented with any sort of a bill. If you require a place to stay, they'll have rooms for you, and you can simply let the administrator inside know at the desk that you'd like a room, and they'll be happy to set you up with one of our finer rooms at the top of the tower. And if there's someone specific that you're looking for or waiting for, they'd be happy to retrieve or make the introductions for you. So whether it's inside the tower or out.
Thank you. The hospitality of Atlantis is well known. I simply seek information.
There you go. And the guards in the crystalline armor come up and they open the gates, which are behind the desk where she's sitting at, and allow you through.
It's funny how Hildy's got a little different personality when y'all aren't around.
It's like, okay, this sounds like you're getting like a tour of the Empire State Building. It's like they got that kiddie area.
He's a tourist.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys
Going to the rainbow room and then.
All right, she'll go in.
Okay. On your way, just before you get to these huge double doors in the base of the tower, it's steps leading up to them. Again, a couple of Atlantean and crystal armor standing right there. You notice that there, toward the stables, there are several carts, chariots, carriages of various types and sizes. Some you would recognize as being local to Ease, others that you would not recognize at all, but being very, very foreign. But one sticks out, and this is a chariot-like carriage, or chariot-like wagon, I guess, that's open, and it's on 4 wheels, and you can see that there are a pair of oxen that have been tied up to it. But what's really interesting about it is that the wheels themselves are inlaid in various colored jewels that sparkle and seem to give off light. As it's getting darker, you're noting that they actually are luminous.
Would Hildy have any sort of recognition seeing this kind of thing?
Roll a history.
22.
So you immediately stop in your footsteps, and you're kind of stunned. You recognize this. You've seen it before. You're sure of it, but you can't quite make the connection as to whom it might belong to or what relevance it has in your life.
I will make note of it and continue as I was directed.
Hildy will remember that.
As you walk in, the guards open the doors, and you walk in. They kind of nod as you go through. Inside, you can see there are dozens and dozens of very plush, luxurious chairs, tables, couches, and so forth, all around this great room. Food's being served. There are servants that are bringing trays of every type of platter of food, whether it be fruits or cheeses or vegetables, meat, stews, and that sort of thing, that are being laid at tables here and there. Not like a tavern, but more like a club. And so there aren't like booths and tables. They're more like these luxurious seats that have tables next to them where you would place your food, type of thing. People talking. There's a lot of Atlanteans. There's a few dwarves. There's a few centaur. There are some kabooter, some hofflin. There are dark-skinned humans, light-skinned humans, tanned humans. All of them, what all of them seem to have in common is that most of them, because of their dress, as foreign as they might be, appear to be related to the arcane. whether they be wizards or sorcerers or warlocks or whatever. And as you enter, it's almost overwhelming. But then you see a tall, slender man suddenly jump up from his seat. He's facing the doorway. He's wearing white robes under a hornless bullhide cloak, decorated with feathers and bones, and a bird mask over his face.
I like that.
He rushes up and greets you with a smile. The bird mask is like covers the top half of his face, and gives you a great big hug.
This is the guy that mind spiked
You a good hugger?
He's a good hugger. He says, "Hello, Digdy. It's good to see you again."
Hug him back.
I missed you.
Back to you in a minute. So you guys are in the tavern. Of course, you're under the experienced tutelage of Giuseppe here, sailor of many ports, many years, knows her way around, seems to be well known in this particular tavern that she's brought you to. Also doesn't seem to pay for a lot of drinks. None of her crew do. And you note that whereas they were never flirtatious on the ship, they're like these little whores now, just going out and just flirting with every men, women, whoever gives them attention. And then you can see they're having fun. You know, they're just enjoying their effect of it because they're all beautiful, you know. And Giuseppe is just kind of, you know, being that this isn't the first time that this has happened, it's just she's just enjoying the whole mood, you know, and the display of it, and probably more than anything, your reaction.
This is astounding.
Now they're not soliciting
No.
people, you know, but they're like being very friendly and flirtatious and like letting their hair down and just be relaxed. Some of them are dancing and drinking and just, you know, not as bawdy as a typical sailor, but a lot more erotic. And that's, you saw, the only thing you saw even close to that was when they were bathing that one night together.
Feeling at home. Make yourself at home.
I have never been around this many women in my life, and I never want to be without it. I need some ale! So, Giuseppe, I've been wondering this entire time, what is with you and Francisco and his wife? I catch every look.
I can't imagine what you'd be talking about.
Oh, don't bullshit me. Two ales over here, and I'll buy her an ale. Be like, come on. Come on.
They bring her an ale, but they don't take the coin.
You?
Well, you can tip me.
Here's the other coin. Here,
There you go.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Is the centaur single? Attached?
As far as I know, he only has an attachment to somebody he speaks to when he thinks nobody else is listening.
And you attached?
No.
The other barbarian, the redhead? No?
That is a misunderstanding to the nth degree.
A dabble? No, you never, a little dabble here or there.
I'm gonna level with you.
This is why we come here. Level.
I don't have much experience in the way of women, and apparently she's wedded, so I do not want any part of that mess.
Are you looking for experience? This is maybe your lucky night.
Oh, this went a different direction than how I was expecting. I mean, I have experience, just not a lot.
This was in his V card tonight. The dog.
I will call over a couple of my girls. I'll have a couple of my girls come sit with you.
Okay. And Howell is uncharacteristically, like, kind of blushing. Oh, hello?
They're like dancing and just, you know, just being very close to you, not being inappropriate, but, you know, touching you and, you know, like stroking your hair, that sort of thing. Trying to make you feel comfortable.
Hey,
They got very, very vicious. Yeah. They got these very, the smiles on their faces are mischievous.
Al's becoming a man tonight.
I forgot what I was asking. Oh, yeah, Francisco.
No, more ale, more ale.
I'm not going to say no. And I think that this is going to be the dance that he does for the rest of the night. As he's getting more and more sloshed, he's still trying to get a little bit out of her. Come on.
I can give you entertainment and I can give you ale, but that's all you're gonna get.
But it's like something in one of them novels my mom had stashed under her bed. It's like the pirate queen, the pirate king. Oh, sorry, that was a lot of ale. The daughter of the pirate king and the horse fucker.
Francisco.
Yes.
I helped them escape.
You helped them. What else did you help them with?
I helped them escape.
Okay.
We've been friends for many, many years, Francisco and I.
It's so entertaining. There's so much subtext.
You're a very deep man.
Sometimes. Deep in the cups.
Speaking of deep in the cups, they do have rooms here, son.
Oh yeah. They offer you rooms as you need them. Now the women are the crew. We're not trying to take men to their rooms or anything like that. Again, this is very playful. It seems like that's just the way they kind of blow off steam, just the teasing, the playfulness, drinking. They're drinking as much as you are. Justini probably being the only one that's trying to stay reasonably sober, looking after her girls and you now.
Yeah.
Kind of the motherly aspect of the whole thing. But there seems to be a lot of respect for her crew in this particular establishment. So there's probably a history of them coming here for many, many years.
How? Oh, sorry. How have you built your reputation in this town that you're so well taken care of?
I do business here from time to time.
Jesus. Forgive me if I'm overstepping, but quite a few cups. Any more salacious business? Things you aren't supposed to be doing in town?
Why would you infer that I'm doing anything I'm not supposed to?
I believe her.
Roll inside.
Do it with disadvantage because you're hammered.
Yeah.
Triple disadvantage.
You are totally forthcoming. I've never doubted a single thing you've said this entire time. Hey, can I get another one?
They keep bringing them.
Okay. It's been quite an experience lately.
Well, we should tell your story to this group too. Next time you're back, you'll be as well known as I am.
My story's boring.
Yeah, you almost single-handedly took out that demon.
Hey, I wonder.
How are you feeling, by the way?
Oh, I'm
good now.
Hammered. Fucking hammered. Often I wonder if I do those crazy things because maybe I want to die. maybe I want to be done with all of it.
And he's getting very
Getting dark.
he's getting misty-eyed.
He's had enough. Water for my friend.
It's just I've never had a group of people that I've wanted to impress so much. It's just been very interesting to try and fit in with the group.
I feel bad now.
Oh, more like your family, huh?
I have a sister, I have a mother. Don't have a father anymore.
But now a grandmother.
Hey, a grandmother, a horse. No, I like the kid. I like him. He seems like a good son. A little fucked in the head, but he seems good. He seems like good people. Kega's funny. She's an interesting person. It's just they're the first ones that want me around.
And at this point, he kind of starts sobbing a little bit.
I'll take his head on my shoulder.
And then about 10 seconds later, like after a little bit of heavy wailing, like,
I'm sorry. I'll shove him back
Onto the
the other
table.
way now and carry on. Carry on my business. He's fine.
unconscious.
He's fine now.
And barring any craziness that happens during the night, you wake up soundly with a bit of a headache, hangover the next morning.
Oh, I should have drank more water.
But you're in the care of Giuseppe and her crew, so you'll probably make it back to the ship on time. So,
We'll make sure you do.
so as far as the temple, making your way into the temple district, there are various temples there, Suna, Iru, a few others, lesser gods that you would probably not be very familiar with, coming from as far north as you come from. But in the Temple of Suna, or you're either one of them, they're easily able to give you directions to where the enclave of druids is dedicated to Luna. Now, Ys is such a huge city. They initially asked which enclave you want to go to. And when you mention Luna, they can give you concise directions to the path that you take out of the city, which is about an hour outside and into the nearby forest. So, do you want to travel there? It's getting close to night at this time for you. So it's late after, like early evening.
Well, taking a page out of Dakir's book, I think I'll just wild shape into a horse to get there faster, and then just...
Okay, if you can wild shape into a horse, then...
I can wild shape into a horse.
Okay. So by the
Can't
way,
let me have
Ys-
one thing that's mine.
I'm sorry, it has the fastest move
I
speed.
bet.
Ys is quite the metropolitan city.
Yeah.
Imagine it. Every race that you're familiar with is here, in abundance. Primarily human, but there are still lots of Dvergr and Centaur and so forth. Even other Twathaday, though not quite as numerous. You see them very, very rarely compared to the other ones, the other races. And it also seems like the city is not a very, it's kind of like a Las Vegas in a way. It seems to have a huge nightlife. It seems to be, as you get later in the evening, people are a lot more liberal about the clothing that they wear. Some of it's very sheer, some of it's very sexy, some of it's, not all there. You can hear the parties going on at the different, not just the taverns, but I'm talking about real parties, like up in the towers. You see people standing in the walkways 100 feet up, looking down, and there are various elevations of walkways between them, crisscrossing and connecting to other towers here and there, throughout the city. And it just seems like the entire place turns into one huge party. Even people just almost like circus or parades going through the streets as it gets late in the night. But you moving off and out of this chaotic world quickly find yourself in the darkness. You can see the stars, the light pollution behind you, making your way down one of the primary roads south, and then a tertiary road that you've been given directions to that lead off further into the darker reaches of the wood. That's about as much direction as you got. From there, it's not really hard for you to kind of follow the signs. And as you find yourself sensing yourself getting closer and closer to the Enclave of Luna, you see pairs of green eyes in the trees staring down at you. Those are the Guardians, Trions.
I get a little twitchy.
Probably. But they're not red. They're all these green eyes that kind of open and peer at you, but make no move at all. You might hear the rustle of leaves as kind of a welcome, them recognizing your presence. And then the path is no longer there at all. but you still know where to go as you move through the trees and over the briars and brush and into, finally, a series of clearings. And whereas the Enclave of Matu was this huge area that you couldn't even see. I mean, you know that there was a massive stone structure and then all the clearings and glades throughout, with the forest in between. You couldn't take it as a whole. This seems to be a lot smaller and more intimate. There is a hill with an open air hill with the surrounding forest where there is a modest druid circle with the stone monoliths. Doesn't seem to be entirely complete for some reason. There are a few treants that are nearby, just on the edges, and you see the furtive movement of figures, both humanoid and animal shapes, moving about from burrows into other glades to openings within the hills here and there, up into the trees. Humans walking in the distance, just kind of silhouetted by some of the fairy light and light globes that are floating throughout. What do you want to do?
I'm going to seek out the priestess of the circle, or not the priestess, but like the elder of the circle. Mainly, I'm looking for advice, but also just it's been so long since Tiva has been in contact with actual druids of Luna. Like, even at the druid circle, they weren't Luna. They were the popular
They're
kids.
fewer between than the other ones. So, being familiar with an enclave in Luna, you would pretty much know to go directly to the Stone Circle as kind of your first point of contact. And there, do you request to meet with the Elder?
I do.
Okay, all right.
I mean, it's Luna. They're more nocturnal than anything.
They're probably cannibalistic.
Wrong circle.
And you would know that by the time you got there, the initial ritual to the greeting of Luna has already taken place, as the moon has already come up. And at this point, there will be other rituals throughout the evening, but there's kind of a downtime, in between. And you're presented to Elder Sactria of Luna. She's, as you would expect, with white robes and the bones on leather prongs and feathers and other ritualistic symbols, and of course the crescent of Luna prominent.
I approach. What? Oh God, I forgot her name already.
Sectria.
Sectria.
Yeah. Sacteria. Sectria.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. I'll watch it.
Okay.
I approach the elder. Elder Citrina. I thank you.
It's Sectria, dude.
Sectria.
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's not quite where. What?
First time at our enclave here, I see.
I haven't really been outside of the enclave in Iru. Well, not of an enclave of Luna.
Sam, you're welcome. You're welcome here, child.
Thank you, Elder. I've been away from home of these enclaves for so long, and I desperately need your advice.
I'm happy to give it. I can.
I don't know how much you know of events that may have happened in the north by Viscera.
Lionsgate?
Something that happened near half a year ago now. A bit farther north than that. I got married. And that shouldn't be a big deal. That shouldn't be something important or special, but...
It is special.
Oh, it's special and it was beautiful, but... it's not something remarkable to people that aren't us. And we married, and in deference to his god, we married on the solstice. And things went terribly, terribly wrong.
What happened?
That's the tricky bit, isn't it? I don't know all of what happened. One minute, I was at an altar, I was saying my vows, and he was saying his, and... well, they were our vows, but it was his priest, and we made it work, even if it was a bit complicated, and then something was overhead. So I got dark, and I had this most splitting pain in my head. And I blinked, and it was not as it was. I don't know what happened. I know it wasn't good. There was blood on the ground, and it wasn't mine. And my husband was there, and he was not well. I had enough power left within me to make sure he'd survive the night, but I didn't want that to happen again. I didn't want to risk it, and every druid I'd met after I left in the middle of the night with no explanation, because how do you explain that? Said nothing. They didn't know. They didn't have any help, any words of wisdom. I don't expect you to have anything that might tell me why or might have an answer, but but the solstice is coming up again, and I'm worried something might happen, because this time it's a solstice of Luna, not one of Suna, one of the night, and that might mean nothing will happen, but that might mean it might be worse. Do you have any advice? Any idea of how to make sure this won't happen when I'm trapped on a boat with a bunch of people really close to me, physically close to me, and I don't want something to go very wrong again.
Dear child, you have entered a solemn ritual, but not under the night sky with Luna above. You've disrespected her. What did you expect would happen? Why would anything have happened any differently?
Luna has always been about guarding the path, finding a way in the darkest depths, finding a way to truth through all of this madness. Suna's easy. Suna's just a light in the sky. It's all illumination, all knowledge, all blah blah blah. I'm righteous, I'm all sanctimonious, I know what's right, I'm just blah
But
blah
you didn't
blah, blah,
honor
blah.
your goddess that day, the most important day of your life. You did not include
I did.
that which would have been the most important to you.
I honored her every day, and it was important to him that it happened under the light of day for his god. I picked a
So you
date.
forsake your own for his.
Never.
That's what it sounds like. How do you think Luna would interpret that any differently? She may know your heart, but you made a decision.
I made a choice to compromise, to work with him, to find a path forward for both of us. Is she so selfish? I don't know her to be selfish. She's the most generous goddess I have ever heard. One who's willing to share.
Dominates the sky. What do you expect?
She dominates the sky. Every god dominates the sky, but she's the one who's willing to work with the other. She's willing to move. She's willing to change. That's the point. Luna can change.
As long as you honor her, child. If you don't honor her, then don't expect her gratitude or her grace. Things happen. Things get out of control. You must seek atonement on the solstice. Make the appropriate sacrifice, and she will forgive you. Until then, your mind will be clouded with doubt.
That is your advice?
It's not my advice, my certainty.
And that's what I'll do.
You're welcome to stay, partake in our rituals this evening. You may sleep under the stars with your kin.
No. No. It was right of me to come here, right of me to ask you, who would be honest with me, because you don't know me. And they did.
I know the truth of Suna. You understand. She may be a guardian. She may be one of willing to change. Be careful what you think you know.
Well then, I thank you for your certainty.
Look, my child, I hope next time I see you, you'll calm your mind.
I don't think calm is quite the word of my future, but I'll certainly be of a different mind.
Do you need a portal?
Oh, hell no!
I think he's gonna have to sacrifice a centaur.
Why is it always me? I don't do anything to anybody. Just leave me
We get to
alone.
walk the day is a more valuable sacrifice.
After talking with her, I leave, and I say nothing else to her.
Okay.
I do still have a letter written and have it sent off with courier if I can find one when I get back to town.
And these courier offices are easy to find, between the kingdoms and so forth.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell me now where you want to send it, or?
Still sending it to, I'll tell you what I wrote in it later, but still sending it to, Njord Bernison?
Okay.
And,
the
same
clan.
guy,
Okay,
same
got it.
place.
Okay, got it. So you're heading back toward Ease, and what are you gonna do when you get to Ease? After you send the letter.
I think just spending some time thinking real hard before remembering that they're going to get fucking wasted.
And I mean, in all fairness, they probably would have told everybody where they were going. If you wanted to get a room. By the time you arrived there, Hal was a mess. He but José just like rolling her eyes, and then the other girls are just enjoying themselves, having fun, kind of giggling and laughing at Hal already passed out. See the streaks of tears that have dried on his face.
I killed the turtle.
Come, family, come have a drink.
What have free?
You look to need it.
You, how much of this do you want open?
I'm fine with whatever you're okay with.
I mean, it's your story, so.
I'm fine with it all being open. I mean,
Okay. All right. Very well. So what are you doing?
it was gonna have to be eventually anyway. I'm just going through back alleys, looking out the corner of my eyes. There's like hanging signs, and I notice markings on the wall, and I start making different turns until I get to like the non-populated areas of the city. I find an unmarked door.
All right. So you're going to meet your contact.
Yep, my cousin.
We got 2 horses.
The doorway creaks open, and
The shadow is longest at night.
and it creaks open a little bit further, allowing you in.
Mm-hmm.
As you get inside, you don't see anybody.
I just wait for a moment.
It shuts.
I can feel you looking at me.
You see in front of you, you're in like complete darkness. You have dark vision though.
Do I?
I think so. As a Sylvan, I believe you do.
I think you're right. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So you can see what looks like a curtain in front of you that blocks off the light, but you can see very little bits of light coming through it, and then it's suddenly opened, and it's like bright of day. And
Do you really have to do that every time?
there are 2 women standing there. They look identical. They're wearing this tight leather black armor, and both of them have these curved swords at their side. They have long dark hair that's been pulled up and tied, dark eyebrows, pale skin. They look really fucking familiar. Really familiar. As if you've seen them or you definitely haven't seen them,
Raven-like?
but they look familiar. And they're twins. Early 20s.
Out of character, do they look raven-like?
Roll an insight.
You went to Centaur College.
Not one. I have face blindness.
Remind you of
You're
Hildy.
like somebody.
Oh, it's really tight leather.
It's more like, how can they move comfortably in that?
My cousin Mildred.
But they move just very fluidly as they kind of pull back, recognizing you. One of them beckoning you in.
I have my hands up, nowhere near my weapons. I walk forward. Where's Threckles?
We're not worried about that, dear. Please come in and have well, stand over here. And inside you see a table. And it is just piled with food. And I mean, just piled with all types of different delicacies.
Apples, sugar cubes, carrots.
Bales of hay, far as the eye can see.
And there's a few chairs around. And a few have been like moved away before you even arrived in here. Both the women just kind of move off to the side of the room. You don't see any other exits. You just see these curtains all the way around the room. And then you see one large, almost throne-like chair sitting at the end of the table. There's nobody in it, but they just beckon you over. Please, would you like to eat? I'm sure you're ravished.
I take one of the carrots off and I sniff it to make sure it's good, and then just take a bite.
It tastes good, like it's really fresh.
Leave.
A servant walks in and offers you ale, mead, whatever you like to drink, wine.
Mead will be fine. Have we done some remodeling since last time I've been here? This
It won't be in the
different
same
air.
next time. I'll tell you that. We'll give you directions on where to go in the future.
I was hoping to talk to someone about that because I haven't gotten any orders in some time.
Well, we get them tonight.
That would
Smiles, a very pretty little smile.
why I'm here.
And you know that they both have these like belts that are just jam packed with different types of daggers.
Similar to mine.
Similar to yours. Really, they're all custom made, but
I take very small bites or sips of anything to test it first to make sure my body doesn't react before I keep going, just out of habit. And I'm just sort of slowly trotting around the room, kind of sneering at the new decor. So, we used to focus on utility. This is lavish, pointless.
special guest tonight. I don't think we've met. And they stare at you expectantly.
Who is this speaking?
One of the girls.
Oh, one of the twins.
Yeah.
Okay. The cure Onagate.
The cure?
It's troubling that you haven't heard of me.
Oh, no, I just said we haven't met. Not that we hadn't heard of you. I mean, obviously, you're expected.
Was this all meant to be for me?
And you know, we were aware of your arrival even before you did.
I take it you have eyes on Hildegard?
As far as we can within the power of the Atlantic Tower. In any case, she's not our concern, you are. My name is Sethra, and this is my sister, Bessie. And she smiles. My
Pleasure.
father will be about in just a moment. He'll talk to you more about what it is that instruction that you require.
Where's Threckles?
Off on another
Is he alive?
is. But this does not
I don't
concern
know.
him.
I believe him.
You rolling inside?
Roll it in the
I
box.
rolled a 4.
That box right
Can't
here.
roll shit tonight. I'm still wondering about how they can move in their leather armor. Distracted, not paying attention.
I can see their nipples through leather.
Is it just really weak leather or really hard nipples?
Come on, I've seen Batman and Robin.
Christopher Nolan version.
That's intentional design.
Christopher Nolan, that was the I'll remember his name
George Clooney. And
No, yeah, but the director's name was
That was
same guy that made. No, well, wait, he produced, I think, but I don't think he directed it.
It's evolving.
As the time passes, I mean, like 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes pass, the girls kind of relax and you see them kind of just slide over and take a grape or take a sip of wine from the table.
As they relax and time is going forward, I'm looking more and more tense. Like, I don't like the situation. It feels off.
And you see them kind of like smiling at each other as they look at you and relax.
I'm as relaxed as I can be.
I hear you have a new nickname.
I don't react to that at all.
Roll to not react.
They kind of giggle.
The wisdom saving throw.
You should check your contacts.
Maybe you should keep different company.
I keep the company I've been told to keep.
In any case, and then just as she's about to speak, the curtains open, and you hear a voice, you know, I hate this fucking city.
I knew it was going to be him too.
You all know why? And then comes into the room, comes the bald, heavy set frame, and just finery that you would never expect someone like this to be wearing. He just kind of comes lumbering into the room, and it's a fat man. You know, you want me to tell you? You want me to tell you why I hate this fucking city?
Why?
Why would you sit? Oh, kids. Sorry.
You're not my contact and I'm starting to feel on edge.
No, I'm your contact, all right. You want to meet with me, boy?
I didn't even know you were part of the shadow.
I'm not just. You hear that girl say something? I'm part of the shadow. You've got a lot to learn. You know, years ago, I used to look out over the water and watch the birds flapping around the ships, you know, making their way into port. Like in flocks around the ships. You know, sailors, they always took the short bows out and plucked as many of the little bastards out of the air as they could. I always wondered why they did that. It's not like they ate the birds. They let them sink in the water. Well, another thought. I figured it had to do with, you know, maybe for sport. But every fucking ship, I never thought to ask. Anyway, one year I brought my wife to these. And of course, she fell in love with the fucking place. Great idea, eh? Bringing her up here, so we bought a nice house. With a view and a big fucking balcony. You look at it from. Now, you know what? I hate that fucking balcony. Wanna know why?
Give him a me.
What? Just listen. Every morning, my wife goes out the balcony and you watch the sun come up. That's kind of romantic, right? Yeah, I thought so. She likes to see it come up over the sea. Yeah, whatever. Real nice. Well, it's not. Because every day there's about 100 fucking birds waiting there like she's the fucking queen. And she plays a part, shouting them at jesters and like jesters and clowns are chasing around morsels that she throws out. And she laughs. I have to admit, I love to laugh. It gets my day started just right. But as soon as she comes back in, the little fuckers, they shit all over the place. Before they fly off to wherever the fuck birds go. And you know who left to clean up that mess? Who would you guess?
You?
Oh, you fucking idiot.
He's me.
I find some fucking kid in the street, and I give him a couple coins to clean up the shit. And this happens every day. And that's why I hate this fucking city. It may be easy for some people, but it's not easy for me. Alright, see what I did there?
Am I the kid in the street in this allegory?
Kind of in a way, yeah.
Fantastic.
But there's two good things that come out of that story. One, now I know why sailors shoot the fucking birds. They don't shit all over the decks. Yeah, like they do my balcony. And two, it reminds me of my wife. There's not a day we've lived here has she ever seen a single drop of fucking bird shit on the balcony. And that's because the boy cleans it knows he'd better get it all before she gets home. And wherever she is, wherever she goes in the city, I'll be into a little fucking pub. No, that's love, right?
I wouldn't know.
That story wasted. Looks over at the girls and just finished her.
I have had my back to all three of them at the entire time. Like, I'm carefully maneuvering myself so that none of them are ever behind me.
He just sits down in his chair.
Who was my contact at Lionsgate?
Your contact in Lionsgate, you probably met my daughter. Rescuing? Raven? Yeah. Their mother?
I look really frustrated.
In any case, you did good. You did good. We got what you brought.
I did good. That was the worst thing anyone's asked me to do. I had to molest that hag of a woman while she was unconscious.
I mean, seems reasonable under the circumstances. I mean, it's alright. I'm sure, maybe she didn't mind too much. It's what the day,
I didn't think about it or know about it, luckily.
Didn't know.
But, hey, you got what you needed to get, and you got it to us, which is important. We got it to the person that needed it, that I told you from the beginning. I think I told you. That doesn't matter. The person who needed
You never
it.
told me anything. I've never spoken to you before.
Not me specifically, you moron. When I speak about me speaking to you, it could be through any number of vessels.
Then why haven't you spoken to me
You need
in
to
weeks?
understand the way the company works.
I've been piloting blind. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do next. I haven't had any orders.
I understand you're with this little group going to find this radiant crown.
Yes.
Well, I need you to stick with it. And we'll reach out once in a while so you let us know what's going on. Right? It's important.
So the exact
My
same thing that I
friend,
was
don't
on.
interrupt me. Stick a fucking dagger in your eye. Did I ever tell you that story about sticking a dagger in an eye?
Am I allowed to speak now?
See?
No.
No. What the day friend she knows, ask her about it. Almost did it. Plucked out an eye. I mean, in her presence, I almost did it once. I've done it many times.
I'm like moving slowly towards the door as he's talking.
Hey, relax. Look. I've got a reward for you. And most people know how I feel about rewards, okay? I mean, just the fact that you're fucking alive and you're working for me, doing what I tell you to do, is reward enough. But in this case, it's important enough that I need you not only to do what I tell you to do, but also stay alive. Right?
I'll keep that in mind.
I've got a gift.
That's rough.
Bessie, bring it, please.
That's rough, buddy.
And Bessie, one of the young twins, reaches behind the curtain and brings out this beautiful bow.
Oh.
And it kind of shimmers in the light, the dim light. The lights come down at this point. It's not as bright as when you first entered. And along with it, a quiver full of 10 arrows. And she brings it over to you and just looking at you really closely, as she hands it to you.
I delicately take it. Is it Sylvan make? I'm inspecting it very closely, testing the weight and the balance.
It's worth a lot to me.
Who did you kill for this?
Yeah, it's none of your fucking business. But what's worth even more to me is the information that you gain, because this wants to keep you alive. You do everything you do to keep the rest of them alive too. It's really fucking important.
That's a
I'll
first.
tell you more as we go. Right now, it's all you need to know. All right? Stick with them. Find out what this business is about with the Radiant Crown. And when we reach out to you, you tell us what we need to know. Now, I'm not going to be fucking meeting with you every time, because you're not that interesting to me. You're kind of plain. And I don't see anything really particularly charismatic about our, dynamic here right now. But, if you kind of like a good sauce, my wife likes to make, you're aging well with time and experience, then maybe I'll begin to like you. If not, I'll just fucking kill you. Because that's the easiest way.
I didn't even know I was working for you
Well,
to
you are
begin
now.
with.
Now you know now. You've always worked for me, but now you know. In any case, I'm glad you're here. I actually don't give a fuck. I just need you to do my job. And this is what I'm giving you to help you get that job done. And if there's anything else you need, this is your time to ask, because you're going to be here about 40 seconds longer before we,
Am
anyway.
I going to kill any of them eventually?
Let's see.
I just sort of solemnly nod, and then that'll be it then.
We're about to get to know him through you, Cetus. We'll be keeping our eyes out. You can be sure of that. Alright, fuck off.
Where's Hildegard? Where's Hildegard
You guys
as I'm
okay?
leaving? Yeah. I know you have eyes on her.
There's not the Atlantis tower, didn't they tell you?
No. I'll head there now.
They tell him. Tell him fucking him. Yeah, told him he's there. Told him I had eyes on him too. I know. It's just centaur, you know, they just stand this.
Out of character, he said, "Who the fuck cares or knows?" I leave. Fuck! I like Threckles. I want Threckles back. He was nice.
Batman's my favorite character.
Holy shit, I have not met this man and I want to meet him now.
I don't, because it will end bloody.
Oh no, Al
He
will get himself
He
killed.
gave the original party their very first quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but you got to complete it.
Well, to keep doing it, apparently. Anything I should know about that bow?
It's an oath bow.
Oh, nice. Very
And
nice.
the arrows, you have a quiver with 10 plus 1 arrows inside. Exactly 10. There's nothing else.
Oh, was the last arrow black?
The last arrow has Hildy's name written on it.
Probably.
It's weird, she's already the automatic sworn enemy.
Poor Hildy.
Hey, I never said that.
You implied it.
I'm positive that's the case.
Also, whenever you shine your light on that dice, it like half the time it reflects the light back behind you.
This was me pointing it directly behind me when it was on the...
Kiva, before I forget.
Oh, I was going to message you over Discord.
No, but before I forget, I'm gonna tell you this. Because of your haste in leaving,
Yeah.
Secretary didn't have a chance to really talk to you about certain druidic things. And so you receive a message in your mind as more of a dream during the night when you do finally sleep.
Night. Oh, this is totally when I'm on the boat again, totally hammered. But go on.
That she's messaging you basically that your druidic stone will have will provide some additional benefit when you wake up. And in some in the ramblings in your mind, because of all the drink and everything, she is talking about you have a good heart and you need to focus on Luna and so on and so forth. And but ultimately, the gist of it is that the next morning when you wake up, you'll have some new benefit because of that.
But frankly, because I'm so wasted, all my brain hears is nag, nag, nag.
Probably.
Nag, nag, probably stone, nag, nag.
Yeah.
What's up, Dig? I didn't expect to see you in one you're taking.
Oh,
I'm sure you have your reasons, right?
I'm not a Dagda.
Digdy, that's your name, Digdy. Right? I mean, you could write something different.
Yes, they call me Hildy now.
That's close. Close. Well, you remember me, right?
No, I don't remember a lot of things. My brain, it didn't wake up when I came out of the cave.
I'm Mora. Your cousin.
Of course you are.
Of course I am. Your head's still in the fog, I see. I give it some time. Actually, he's supposed to have more of an Irish accent.
Okay, so it's Hildy.
Seekers have their way to go. Finding what they seek and all that.
Yes, that's why I'm here. I'm trying to find some towers.
What sort of towers?
Well, really
You had
big
visions?
ones. Yes, I had a couple, but this one bothered me a lot.
You want to tell me about it?
Well, there were everywhere I looked, no matter where I looked, there was a tower. There was a tower in that way, and it was beautiful and looked pearl white and amazing, and it reflected light like the sun and the clouds, and it was beautiful. And over there was a tower, and it was the color of dirty blood. It was not a good tower. And over there was a tower that was black and shining, like, you know when the mountains blow off the fire and you find the glass rocks? It was that color. And over there, in that direction, there was a tower, and it was the color of green putrescence that comes from a troll when you cut their nose off and just that stuff comes out. It was that color. And then all of the towers had angels in windows blowing giant trumpets, and they were leading processions of demons or devils. I forget, my mind wanders. I don't.
Demons?
Yes.
Does it have something to do with the Radiant Crown?
Yes, I'm looking for it. I was told it was broken into 3 pieces, but I stopped looking for it because I had to bring the blood from the king that never was back to the fat man, but then his daughter stole it, so I don't know if it went back to him or not, because I didn't even have it anymore.
I'm so proud of you, Hildy. Or Digdy, or whatever your name is. Now, and he gives you another great big hug.
Oh, you're a good hugger.
You found what you're seeking. You found the way to what you're seeking. You know, sometimes seekers go on their whole life not finding what they want.
Yes,
to
it's been
find.
a long time.
Or what it is that they're even looking for. What do you know?
That didn't help me very much.
Have you seen Amy lately?
I don't know.
You don't know.
What does Amy look like?
Your little sister.
Oh, Aja. No.
No, not Aja. Aja's your older sister.
Oh, yes, Aja's dead. I think Merlin
sorry.
killed her when he conjured some demons.
Oh, it's not as you think.
Oh, yes, I have a very bad feeling whenever I think of him. And whenever demons come around, my head hurts. And for some reason, I can understand whatever they say. I don't like that. But I don't know who Amy is.
You understand the language of angels and demons?
Well, yeah, that's a thing now.
That's a thing now.
That's a lot of information you threw upon me. Just
That's
on me
a
now.
lot of information for me. And now I have new friends because I had other friends that we went to get the blood, but they're all dead. Or not all of them. Some of them were cowards and ran away. But the new friends aren't cowards, but I think they're gonna die. They're mostly stupid.
We all see it that
I'm
way.
average.
I understand what you're saying, and I feel the
smart.
same about the folk that I carry on with sometimes. It's just a natural way of it, because we're far more advanced than they'll probably ever be. But you have to tolerate them. And you give them
do. I like
patience.
them.
I'm a tenant.
My favorite is a centaur. He's a baby centaur. He's not very big, but I trust him the most. I don't think he would ever do anything
That's
bad
important.
to me.
It's really important. Now, I tell you what, you're going up to the Radiant Crown. The towers are somehow
favorite?
related to them. I'm gonna give you this rod. This rod that I'm giving you, and he pulls out a rod. It's only about this long, and it's thick. And when he hands it to you, it feels a little bit heavy, almost like it's iron. And it's
For hitting
gilded.
people.
Oh, you can hit, you can knock out a few with that one. But what's most important about it, Digby, I'm sorry, Hildy, is that it closes portals. The ones going to the infernal planes. If you're going to the towers, if you're going to find the towers, you're going to need it. You haven't heard about Lionsgate?
I was there when the demons beat up the prince and stole the queen.
No, after that, just
Yes,
A week or so ago.
Yes, we
days.
went to the portal
Yeah.
and we went in and it was not good there. It was very hot and we almost died. So then we came out, but there was a guardian. It was a giant demon and it tried to kill us and we couldn't kill it, so we ran away. But we left it there.
But let me tell you what's happened since.
Oh, there's more?
Some pudding creature oozing out of the maw. And it stood up over 100 feet high. At least that tall, if an inch. The temple knights and the regular folk, they fought the thing for 3 days. Were splattered it all over the city. It made a big mess though. Half the city torn to shreds. Maryland got there. With the rod. A day or so after to close the portal. At first, the Duke wouldn't let him in because, close off the only way to find the king. But the Atlanteans, they told him they'd go look on their behalf, see what they could find. But finally, he agreed and they closed the thing for good. This is right from Maryland. And you know the prince, he was taking the whole thing stoic. But I could see in his eyes that he was suffering worse than any other. We're gonna make him king next week.
Oh, we're working for him now. He gave us a ring.
You're working for the king from Lioness.
Oh, that's good.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll pick up next week.
We shouldn't have left.
Wow, look at all the information you get.
I feel like the main quest happened without us.
Yeah.
We now discovered the Order Ravik wanted us to do this.
Yeah.
No, actually, I expected you guys to go get to that point a couple of levels from now.
Yeah.
Because had you guys been there when that thing released, it would have been really fucking ugly.
Yeah, we're glad we weren't there for the pudding monster.
Yeah.
Monster.
Honestly, we probably went at the best time.
If anybody can do a Bill Cosby impression, now would be the time to go, it's the pudding monster.
Well, thank you all very much, and we will see you
Good
next
night,
week.
y'all.
As Crazy Tail takes us.
I cried.
Good night.